Feeling good, man. It's funny, man. We talked about that the other day. I don't know if you remember.
Sure do.
We kind of talked about the possibility of him going to Washington. But I'm gonna let you go first, man. How do you feel about it? That's your team.
Yeah. What do I feel about it? I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. I'm hoping that he comes with a prove it type of attitude. Um, the Deebo that I really would love to see is 2021, 2022 Deebo. I don't
Yeah.
think he's that anymore, even though I don't think that he's old, washed up, and over the hill. He's only 29 years old, and I think that he still may have some years left. It depends on who we get. If we get the motivated Deebo Samuel, the Deebo Samuel that as out there has that swag and something to prove, then we got a little something on us. You know what I mean? If he doesn't and he's out of shape and he's getting injured, then hey, I'm cool with the fifth round sacrifice. I'm cool with the fifth round gamble. Now, I know he's owed $21 million. I think we're due to give him 17 of that. When you look at what John Allen is owed, he's owed about 16 million. We're about to get that off of our books because he's going to be traded very soon. And I think that it's a one-off. So hopefully we get a motivated Deebo. Hopefully we get an in-shape Deebo, somebody that's trying to prove something. If we do, for a fifth round pick, that's a win. If not, I'm cool with the sacrifice, but I hope it's the latter, man, because we need somebody like Deebo, especially when we're playing a Vic Fangio defense in particular that's not going to give too much over the top. You're not going to go big on the Philadelphia Eagles. You need somebody that's going to grab some yak, and we know how Deebo can do on that. So I'm cool with it.
Yeah, and and even because that was y'all game and that was Kansas City game too. And we did a good job of stopping team. Either way they wanted to play. When they wanted to throw it short, we tackled real good this year. But I want to ask you, so what his last year with San Fran? I didn't really follow it. Two questions: was he out of shape? Was he not the same Debo? And two, what does it say about San Francisco willing to give him up for a fifth round pick and trade him in the NFC? Do you look at that like a red flag at all?
No, because I don't know, and I only don't. Typically, you would, right? I typically you would, but I don't in this situation because I don't know what San Francisco's doing. It looked like they're trying to get younger. They were trying to
Yeah,
get rid of him last year. It just seems like that marriage and that chemistry is just ended. But I will
right.
say this about him being in shape in last year because it wasn't the same Debo. He didn't seem as motivated. He didn't
Right.
seem as hungry. I don't know what was happening. The injuries. I think he missed 2 or 3 games last year. It just seemed like for whatever reason him in San Francisco wasn't working out. Now, let me be perfectly clear. As honest, I didn't like what I saw. You know what I'm saying? It was like,
Okay.
damn, it was cause for concern. But him in a new environment with some fresh air, I'm cool with it. I'm willing to give it a chance. I'm not saying this is the end all be all. I'm not sitting here saying this is our punching our ticket to the Super Bowl by any means. But when I look at Deebo, is he better than Diami? Yes. Is he better than Noah Brown? Yes. Is he better than Alameda? Yes. He's better than what we've had. He's only our third wide receiver signed right now under contract. So we're going to still do things at wide receiver. We have to fill out that room. We don't have anybody under contract. So I'm cool with it, bro. I'm cool with it.
Yeah, nah, I was thinking, actually, I think that Noah Brown kind of hurt y'all. Because I remember him catching a lot of passes earlier in the year.
Talk
I'm not
about it.
saying he's better than Debo, but
Talk
I
about it,
do
bro.
remember he was like, it was a different team. When he went out, it became more of, this Jaden Daniels and Terry. That
Yeah.
was it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Zach Ertz, obviously, as well.
Right.
But yeah, I think, it's definitely a solid pickup for y'all. Remains to be seen. I can't see that. I really don't see nothing bad about it.
Right.
It just depends on who you get. And I probably think y'all going to get a good player. I don't think he's going to come over there and be lazy and out of shape. I think he's going to want to compete. And try to win the Super Bowl. That's what I think. But I'll tell you this: I do think now that Miles Garrett to the Eagles is more of a, because Howie Roseman.
Yeah.
It's like chess. It's like, man, all right, I got him. I'm definitely going all in on getting Miles Garrett. You know what I mean? But we'll see. Do you feel like y'all still in the sweepstakes for Miles Garrett as well? Or you think that's done with?
Hell no. Hell yeah. If Cleveland opens that door, it's a two horse race. It's between us and y'all. You see the logos. It's between us and y'all. And I mean, sprinkle in Detroit because Detroit has something, but I don't
Yeah.
think there's two teams hungrier to get Miles Garrett than Philly and Washington. And I'd be interested to see how how deep both GMs are willing to go as far as bidding and what they're willing to give up. Because y'all have far more to give up than we do. Y'all
Yeah.
could give up and compensate way more in y'all position than we can. So it's all about, okay, if we give up 2 picks, are y'all willing to give up 2 picks and a player? Are y'all willing to give up 2 picks and a second? Y'all already stacked. Myles Garrett pretty much punches y'all another ticket. So I'm interested to see the chess game and how much, if it happens at all, because I don't know if Cleveland's going to budge, if at all, how much is going to cost. Now, what I'm hoping, because I don't want to get into that kind of bidding war with you guys, because like I said, y'all got way more to give up than we do, way more like assets to be able to give up to get him than we do. I hope
Right.
that he goes past the draft and we can get through this draft and maybe give up compensation for future draft, because if we got to give up this year's draft picks, it would hurt me a little bit. So we'll see what happens. What do you think?
Yeah. Honestly, it just depends. They're already saying Howie. It's been a couple reports. You probably seen him that he's willing to give up some young players and pretty much do whatever it takes
Yeah.
to get Myles Garrett. I think you got to be all in now at this point. Like if you want to keep on winning Super Bowls, a player like Myles Garrett, because if you're going to, because you got to look at it like this, you're going to lose probably Sweat
Yep.
and you're going to lose Williams.
Yep.
I think Myles Garrett equals those two.
Are you willing? Okay, so what if they want to play? Are you willing to give up like a Jordan? I know Jalen Carter's out of the question. That's not even
Oh
a
no,
pick.
no, no, yeah,
So are you
yeah,
willing to give up like a Jordan Davis or something like that for him?
yeah. I think you can maybe.
That's what it's going to cost, I think. It's going
Yeah,
to cost the
Jordan
player.
Davis. Yeah, and like two. I would, I would
Yeah,
definitely
okay.
give up Jordan because if you look at him, he's a good player, but he only played like 10, 15 snaps.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So I wouldn't be mad. If they, I'll be happy if they got him. If they didn't, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I think we'll still be good without Miles. I think he needs us more than we need him for real. For real.
Yeah, and that being said, there's so much, and what's on, I think, both sides right now, because you guys would be looking for edge if you don't sign Josh Sweat back, and we clearly need edge. That's probably number one on our list outside of
Yeah.
like a tackle, offensive tackle is edge. Um,
Right.
there's a lot of that in the draft. You know what I mean? There's a lot of young talent, even in
Yep.
mid rounds. You ain't got to spend your first round pick on the edge. You can go in the second, third round and get a good edge player. They're in this draft, so that's at least plays a part if Myles Garrett doesn't get on the trade block. And there's still also Trey Henderson out in Cincinnati, and my man out in Vegas. What's my man's name? Crosby.
Oh, Max Crosby. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, those are two interesting pieces to think about too. But obviously, Myles Garrett is that big trophy piece. So I mean, we'll see what happens.
Now, do you think that the organization is listening to the fans and saying, "All right, this is y'all equivalent of trying to get into AJ Brown. Like, all right, Terrence, your Devontae. Now this is AJ Brown." Do you think the organization is listening to the fans, or you think they're going to really, try to build the team? Because you look at Lattimore. Okay, cool. He got to prove himself next year.
Right.
You look at Deebo.
Right.
Like two players, it could be very questionable for those two players going. So do you think that this is an emotional decision, or you think that they're really trying to compete and build around this team?
I think they're really trying to compete and build around the team, and I say that because when you look at the contracts of both of those players, they're very easy to get outside of next year. We're not
Okay.
obligated to either one of these players, so they're both almost in type like a prove it type situation, which is advantageous for us. You got two perennial Pro Bowl, All Pro players in their prime in a couple years ago, right, doing their thing in a prove
Right.
it year. So I'm hopeful that they can do their thing now. We are not a Marshawn Lattimore, Deebo Samuel away from winning the Super Bowl. There's clearly still other pieces that we still need to fill out. And knowing that, and knowing that we need pieces for the future, I still think that we're going to get active. Like I said, we only got 3 wide receivers currently signed on our roster. So there's still going to be pieces. I'm very interested to see what goes on in the trenches this year, because I know we can't build it in 1 year, 2 year. Hopefully in 3 years, we can start really looking at something like, okay, yeah, we got something. But I don't like the talent that's in the draft, and I don't like the talent that's out in free agency. So I'm curious to see what the scouts are seeing, when we're going to start making moves, because we need it. So I'm really curious to see what's going to happen with that this year. But I think the pieces around Jaden and the pieces around on defense, I love Adam Peters and the organization to make the right decisions. I'm just curious to see what the trenches look like in 2025.
Yeah, yeah, that's gonna be I think that's gonna be the main thing. But you may be able to find some people in around like second and third. You never know. That's the thing about the draft. You never know
Yeah,
what they are until they hit the field. You really can't go off the combine. You can't go off the
right,
report. Sometimes they get on the field and be great.
right.
Sometimes they'll be a damn bust. So what about are y'all bringing Zach Ertz back? And what about the tight end you guys drafted? Is he making any progress?